It was snowing here in Cheyenne. It's pretty chilly. I was going to take a break and play some video games. What I ended up doing, there was an old man who didn't know how to use a computer, and I'm not really any better at it. So me and him fumbled around for about 2.5 hours, I suppose, trying to help him fill out an application for a job. It actually made me feel better. Not a lot, but while I was helping him, it definitely helped. This video is not about that, though. Amanda got on YouTube, and, well, although she was trying to defend herself and her mom, she ended up corroborating my story. She also admitted to distribution of a controlled substance. Not too bright. However, when I said that she's allowed to have her special interests, but I'm not allowed to have mine, well, she admitted that. She admitted that she watched Game of Thrones for an hour or an hour and a half a night. It was more than that, but whatever. She also claimed that I told her I was playing video games for 4 hours a night. No, I'm up because I'm having a panic attack, you fucking moron. Putting words into my mouth doesn't make what you and your mom did okay. So, then she finally said that she spent about an hour in my room with me per day when I was asking her how did she know that I'm playing video games. How many hours a day did you spend in the room with me playing video games or watching me play video games? She said about an hour. Well, if she's allowed to have an hour or an hour and a half for Game of Thrones, am I allowed to have an hour for video games? When I get overwhelmed with something, I need to step away from it. And when I step away from it, I do something. I do something that helps me to step away from it. That used to be video games. But now I feel like I'm going to get in trouble for playing video games. Because they went out of their way to so completely treat me like shit. Like all I did the whole time I was there was play video games. Meanwhile, I'm limited in much the same way as Lana is. Not in exactly the same way, but very similar. We have many similar issues. While I was up there, I split one log, okay? It took a while to do it, and it took me 2 to 3 days to recover from that. It hurts my back to swing an axe. So she's telling me that her mom is so gimpy that she can't cook. She can cook. She started a grease fire. That was Amanda's excuse why she gets paid $11 an hour to hang out with her mom and do what it is that anybody who lives with their mother would be expected to do. The worst things that they could come up with were that I stunk. Ooh. I do stink. She said I didn't shower. I showered every night. But I only smoke half a cigarette at a time, and out of habit, I put it in my pocket of my hoodie. So my hoodie always stinks. If I just washed it 20 minutes ago, it's going to stink in 20 minutes. They said I wasn't doing anything for myself. With all due respect, with the 1 hour that Amanda claimed that she was in there with me every day, which it wasn't an hour, by the way. What about the other 23 hours that they're accusing me of doing nothing? The other 23 hours of the day. They said I was pacing. Of course I'm pacing. I'm having a severe fucking panic attack the whole time I'm up there. I need to hear from Amanda Balehash that my Facebook, I can open it up without anything on it being destroyed. At that point in time, the way that Facebook worked is if enough people complain about something, it disappears. It doesn't matter what it is. I was prevented from going to court because the Bollinger family, including Rose Kelly and the other two stepmothers, knew exactly what was on there. They knew exactly what I could show, and that they would be going to jail, if not prison, if I was able to show that. And the police knew that I could show what it is that they were doing. And the judge, I had already threatened to sue that judge, that very same judge, for what he did with Natalie's protection order. 6 days ahead of time? No, legally they have to give me more than 7. They have to give me enough time that if I cannot make it to court, I can have a piece of paper, a requisition in, more than 7 days before court. They illegally prevented me from going to court by lying to me and entrapping me. Officers across the state of Colorado did this. Candace didn't pull her bullshit until I told her that I was going to expose Officer Michael Beard for what he had done. After she was the one who told me what he did. And yes, I got very irate and typed a bunch of very mean shit at her. I didn't say that I was going to hurt her. I threatened to expose what happened at her house. But Amanda, she's dumb as a fucking stump. That's the thing. When I was going to go to South Dakota to see Jamie and the boy, I didn't get to. Do you know why I didn't get to? Because Amanda couldn't keep her mouth shut. She said in a group with Karamia, Evan Daka, and a few other people where it is that I was going. At least she admitted to it in one of them Facebook groups. That's pretty important. I have a screenshot of that too. The things that help me to calm down when I'm overwhelmed, to step away from what it is that I'm working on. I got yelled at for. I didn't yell at her for watching Game of Thrones. But I did make a very big point about the fact that she's allowed to have that as her special interest. But I'm not allowed to have video games. Video games are interactive. Game of Thrones is brothers fucking sisters. And a bunch of killing. And yes, on my video games, some of them are killing. The ones I prefer are actually more like chess than they are like Game of Thrones. Nobody's humping their sister in my video games. She said I didn't do anything for myself. I did a lot for myself. The things that I asked for her help with, most of them she didn't do. She didn't know how. Most of the things that she did for me up there didn't amount to squat. They would have if her and her mother hadn't pulled what they pulled when I left. That made it so that all of that time, all of that money, all of those resources that were not mine to begin with, Dan Fabert paid for that. Dan Fabert. I felt like shit for taking his money because he didn't take the time to know what the fuck was going on. And I asked him for help getting money for a phone so that I could turn my other phone over to the police to show them what was going on, what Miss Shelley was up to, what Miss Danica was up to, what a fucked up person Ted is. Dan Fabert sent me the money to get a phone, the one I'm using right now. It doesn't work though. Not unless there's internet access. My other phone that I had to buy because this one right here is full of evidence. And if I reload it so that it's started up again, it erases everything on it because I have to re-register it. These are all tiny issues that are by the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that I have to deal with. That Amanda doesn't. She's pooling her resources with her mother. Many of the things that they said up there, Amanda admitted to. Now, she only said that that vehicle thing happened once. No, I didn't have the money for a fucking vehicle while I was up there. They wanted me to buy Brad's car. They hounded me repeatedly to buy Brad's car. I couldn't. And Missy, Layla Johnson, Doonan, her mom lady, whatever the fuck she is, her friend Lisa, who's a social worker in New York, she was going to help. She was going to send some money, but she never did. I asked Lana and Amanda every time, hey, has she sent that money yet? No, she hasn't. All right, I just saw Nebraska plates. It looked like 78 plates, but that's Dual County, by the way, the county that Chapel, Nebraska is in. Probably not. Probably just looked like it is in passing. Most of the things that I said, she admitted to. She tried to downplay them all, but she admitted to them. That she lives with her mother. She gets paid $11 an hour to live there. Her mother doesn't need someone there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Meanwhile, she treated me like shit, like I needed someone there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The longer this goes along, the more fucked up I am. Because I need to be left the fuck alone. And the only way that that's going to happen is if the cops drop their fucking bullshit, stop fucking doing that shit to homeless people, and I get to take that goddamn judge to court. Not just him, but also the clerk that put that address down on Natalie's paperwork and allowed that. Maybe Natalie wrote it down, but that clerk should have reread that. Nope, it's 21 County. That's not Dual County. So that's the thing. A lot of the people who should have said something to begin with, they didn't say what it is that they could have said until they were pissed off at me. But at least they said it, or typed it, or whatever. Lana has degenerative disc disease, so do I. The problem with all of this is that my special interests are not the same as theirs, and they expected me to have those same interests. They expected me to drop it at what it is that I was doing to do what they wanted. Lana wanted to talk about Dutch and earthquakes. Amanda wanted to watch Game of Thrones. I didn't. I'm not interested in sitting down and listening to Lana talk about earthquakes for 5 hours straight. And it will be 5 hours straight if I sit and start listening to her. It's Sally Treon's. Their special interest is that show with them carnival clowns killing people. With my dad, his special interest is money. He likes watching the Orville. That's cool. That's the only thing there that I would have actually been interested in. The problem is that he was pressuring me to watch it. Sean, you have to watch this. No, I don't. I am doing something right now, Dad. My mind is set on this right now. Let me finish this, and then I will come down and hang out with you. These people had specific expectations of me. Now, Shannon Alvarado, she's got an actual murder case and shit that went down with that murder case in her house. All sorts of information that she could take a look at. But she didn't take a look at it. She was interested in a whole bunch of other murder cases. Now, Shannon's not a bad person. Shit, her opinion on a lot of that stuff that she was watching is the same as mine. Me and Shannon have a shit ton in common. A shit ton. The difference between Shannon, my dad, And Lana and Amanda is that Shannon's not a shitty fucking person. Yeah, she had different expectations for her than she did for me. But that depended on the expectations. Shannon was very good to me. She was. My dad was not good to me. Lana was fucking bitchy. Amanda admitted my second night there, I was in there half the night on Lana's bed with her, laying down. I was crying over what happened to Natalie. So Amanda's attempt to try to make it seem like I was the bad guy just backfired in her face. I'm proud of myself for that. I'm pissed off that I had to be a fucking dickhead to do it. Kind of like David and Betsy Prowell. See, when I call somebody out on Facebook, I've already tried to talk to them one-on-one, to deal with it as adults. But it is an issue that is a serious issue that needs to be dealt with. With Betsy Prowell being assaulted the same way that I was by Officer Lola Ty, yeah, it was pretty important to coordinate with her and establish that this officer goes around assaulting people. He gets off on assaulting the homeless. He has a history of violence, and yet he is still a police officer. He should be in jail for multiple counts of assault. People keep pretending like I'm playing victim. The things that I said about the Boulder Police Department have now been in national news repeatedly. The things that I said about the police raping people has been in the news repeatedly. All the counties that I was in are the most corrupt counties in Colorado, according to the Denver Post. They have the most corrupt police forces in Colorado. So you guys go ahead and try to discredit me with all of your fucking bullshit. But the news is just proving me right. The Boulder Police are just proving me right. Adams County is proving me right. And you still won't listen to me. You still won't pretend I'm a human being. Because I'm freaking out. Because I can't see my loved ones. Janine fucking died. I didn't get to see her before she died. Anna died. I could have rescued her from the shitty situation that she was in. There was a woman here in Wyoming who had a vehicle for Anna. But Anna's dead now. Her family's apparently a lot like mine. Her brothers didn't really seem to care that Anna was dead at her funeral, according to other people who were there. Anna was a good person. The most fucked up part about all this is that I still love Lana. I still love Amanda. I still love Miss Jerry. I separated them from my life in Virginia for a reason. Because they were being assholes and ganging up on me, and I couldn't handle it. I can't handle being treated like that all the fucking time. I needed friends in real life, and thank goodness for Miss Natalie. People want to say, hey, because of you, because of all the shit that you did, she fucking killed herself. You know what? Me and her were suicidal, both of us. I was suicidal over shit that was actually happening. Over her paranoia, and her sister's paranoia, and her mom's paranoia of shit that I would never fucking do. So you can kiss my ass. When people were posting up pictures of Candace's living room, her old living room with those pictures on the wall. The pictures that I was going to take down off of her wall so that people couldn't do that. She's like, oh no, it's fine. And after my very first video, she says, hey Sean, people are posting up pictures in those groups of my old living room with those pictures in it. Duh! She said, so, I said, well then call the fucking cops. Make a record of it. She said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to shut down my Facebook for a few days. God damn it, Candace. That shit needed to be documented. She was afraid of the police. That's not my fault. That's not my choice. That's not my decision. But the fact is, Amanda was dumb yesterday. The unfortunate fact of that matter is that chances are pretty good that now that she's been established as a fucking liar, her shit's not admissible in court. On the bright side, I can show that Natalie is a liar, Alicia is a liar, her dad's a liar, her stepmothers are liars. Her mom is the only one that I can't prove is a liar. I said I was coming for them in court. They said that I was threatening to shoot them with a gun. Well, if the judge had actually taken a look at that evidence, it was a video about a fucking squirt gun filled with jalapeno juice. That squirt gun was 98 cents at Walmart. And guess what? I made another one. And you know what I made that squirt gun for? Specifically for cases like when I was assaulted by Derek Apodaca. You see this? You see it? I want you to take a look at that. It's see-through. It's fucking see-through. It's a goddamn toy. But it's for my own protection. Protection. Seriously. And it don't even work. Fuck it. It's probably all clogged up. It's been in here a while. And then they claim that I threatened to kill them. I was actually threatened by people who were actually threatening to kill me. And guess what? It didn't matter. It didn't, because I wasn't allowed to show that stuff. The police made every excuse that they could. It's out of jurisdiction, it's out of jurisdiction. And all of this shit that's supposedly out of jurisdiction, they were able to do across jurisdiction for the Bollingers, including falsify evidence and steal evidence. I needed protected from the Boulder police when it was fucking 2016. And you know who came and rescued me from that? Natalie and Maddie. Those are the two people who came and fucking rescued me, while the rest of my friends and loved ones turned a blind fucking eye. That's when I was fucking suicidal. That's when it fucking started. And yes, I have had periods throughout my life where I have been suicidal. It's been the periods of most abuse. Because when I'm being abused, I just have to take it. Nobody's going to listen to it with the intent to do anything. When my dad beat me up for the third time over an F in PE, the police offered to take me to juvie or I could live with my dad. When little girls are raped in this country, they're given the same choice. Well, you know, legally, blah, 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 blah. You know, if you were my kid, I've heard officers tell children that if they were their kids, they'd put them over their knee. After these kids have gone through some pretty fucking traumatic abuse. When the kids say, yeah, I would rather go somewhere else than stay here and get beaten or raped by my dad. They put them in an institution and give them drugs. Why am I afraid of the shit that the Boulder police did to me? because of their history of doing that to people. Clearview was in trouble, a lot of trouble, because they were keeping people for longer than they should have to try to get free insurance money. So after that, they went, hey, we got to find a way to get free money a different way. So they do these things to the homeless, and the state pays for it. Is the state actually paying for it? No, the taxpayers are. Now almost every institution in Colorado is exclusively for the criminally insane. They won't take anyone else. That was in the papers too. That's because it's the only way that these institutions can get away with doing the things that they do and get paid for it. By the way, fuck you, Amanda. You're a fucking dumbass.